You guys let me know when you can see and hear us.
I got an ad.
Hey, hey, yo, yo. Can you guys hear me okay? I can see and hear you. Michael, we're going on, Michael. How's everybody doing? Dan, hi. Dan Ski, what's up? Gamer Boots, have you ever shopped at Star Power Audio in Dallas? I haven't. I honestly haven't. So I don't know. I don't know anything about them, actually. Improved Garage, always a pleasure. Thank you for letting us know. All right, so it is the third Thursday, I think, of what month are we in? November? Of November.
Yep.
Holy cow. Month. Oh yes, birthday month. It's coming right up, actually. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna got a lot of stuff probably to go over. You guys always have really good questions for us. So we'll let a few more people find their way in here. I think there was probably like an ad roll that had to play. So now we're starting to see some people. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
If you're good stewards, you watch those ads.
Yes, yes. So, Poland, hello. Hello, hello.
We are worldwide. I see Toronto, St. Louis, Seattle, Chile, Sweden,
Belgium, Australia. I mean, just hi from I forget. I sometimes forget too.
Australia.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Kentucky,
I mean,
Italy.
It is just Scotland. Hello. I mean, goodness gracious. Singapore, Cyprus. Are you serious? Wow. Western New York, represent. San Bernardino, California. That's where it's at right there.
Australia. Someone hit me up on Instagram about Australia and like begging me to go. And it's not a matter of like you have to beg. Like I really do want to go. Help from the trash can outside my house. Let's see if I can click that one. Hold on, I got to get that turned back on.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
There it is. There you go. Good
Rome,
evening.
Italy, one of my favorite places on the planet.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh. You guys are bragging now. South Africa, Netherlands.
All right.
All the places that I would love to go one of these days. Austria, yep. Bangladesh. Holy crap, man. You guys are worldwide. We really do appreciate you. Yeah. Antarctica. Are you serious? I mean, come on now. You really do make us feel special. And we love that everybody joins us. I know that for many of you, this is probably pretty late in the evening, exotic New Jersey. So we do appreciate that you
spend some time with us.
That you make time for us, even late at night.
Yeah. So I'm going to kick things off here with Matt Dillon. He asked, "What's my take on Peachtree Audio?" And believe it or not, I don't have a take on Peachtree. We had an integrated amp from them in for review, and it stopped working. And that happens. That happens. You know, it's not the end of the world. And we sent it back to the person that we got it from, and never got another one. So I don't know. I don't know anything about Peachtree. Sorry. Oh, Nick. Look at Nick. Movie AV. Impulse.
Nick is our cheerleader. Our
Nick
resident cheerleader. We love you.
Yeah, we love Nick. I was going back and forth with Nick over on his channel. Actually, the last two videos, he and I have exchanged a few back and forths. Just some movie history trivia stuff. So if you guys are movie history people, you might catch me living my other life over on the comments in his channel. So
yeah, Andrew was turned into a viewer, full on, like was typing something And I'm like, you know, he was basically trying to school Nick. And I'm like,
I don't know if I was trying to
you
school
were.
him.
You totally were. And I was like, hey, maybe you don't do that. And, you know, Nick replied like, yeah, you know, I do know that. And I mentioned it towards the end of the video. And I'm like, see, you
I started commenting,
you are everything that we
yeah.
can't stand. People that don't watch the video or don't watch the entire video and then ask questions or chime in like they think they're, you know, telling you something you don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway, sorry, Nick.
We can all be better people.
I started to comment before making all the way to the end of the video. I'm assuming you're joking, but no new news.
What new news?
What about Paradigm? There's nothing about Paradigm.
Oh gosh.
Hi
no,
from
except that we
Cambridge.
got accused of.
Oh
my gosh, we got accused of being biased and that was why we were not talking about Paradigm.
Yes.
I mean, oh my gosh. I'm like, well, you must be new. Anyway. No.
Mohammed. Hello. Just got a Marantz. I'm going to assume that's a Cinema 50. And I would like to know what speakers I should pair with it if I want to do 5.2.2 or 7.2.2 on a budget of $2,500 to $3,000. Well, you for sure can do the Polk Monitor XT line, which we reviewed with that particular receiver and found it to be excellent. You could definitely build a system, a 5.2.2 or 7, whatever, around that, and it's a great pairing. 2,500 Polk XT. You could probably do the Fluence XL8 series from them. You could do something with that. You could also go with one of Kristi's favorites, the Kanto YU passives. You could do a bunch of Kanto YU passives with a subwoofer and just have an awesome setup with that particular receiver. So I'm going to
drop a link for you.
Yeah, Kristi's going to help you out with some links. I would say that I would start with the Polk XT speakers. Check them out. The line just above XT is currently, I think, on like a massive sale. So
the ones that we just did?
No, like the Polk XT speakers that we just reviewed, yes, I'm recommending those. But the line that's above them but below Reserve, I think is on like this huge sale. Now, we didn't review those speakers, but that may be something also to look at. And then Kanto YU passives, and what was the other one I said? Fluence. Check them out. So, Santiago, if using external amps to power 5 of the 9 channels on my SR6015, will this take the burden of external amp channels or only the 2 I can assign as a preamp? Yeah, because the 6015 doesn't have an all preamp mode, does it? Like all channel, like it doesn't fully defeat the amplifier. I don't know. I'm not as familiar with that piece. I would have to open up the manual and start looking with you. And unfortunately, I can't do that on a live stream. So I'm sorry. I don't know. Oh my goodness, the thing just jumped on me. Yeah. ABX audio file. Hey, video is looking sharp and clean. Love it. Glad to see you guys. Say hello to the lady for me. You can say hello to the lady yourself.
Hello,
she's right
the lady
here.
is right here.
She's right here. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much.
Did you answer Vibrogrun's?
I'm getting there right now.
Right now. Okay.
Hi, Andrew and Kristi. I'm thinking of getting my parents a cheap soundbar for Christmas. I'm thinking JBL Bar 2 or Cinema SB110. I don't think my parents would go for a sub. What would you recommend? I don't know what the Bar 2 retails for right now or the SB110. If you don't think they're going to go for a sub, I don't want to spoil the review, but you may want to take a look at the Bose 600. That's all I'm going to say. You may want to take a look at that. Okay. Let's see here. Vadim, Yamo. Yes, you could do Yamo for the Cinema 50 as well. Andrew, I assume the lack of Paradigm content is due to your well-known anti-Canadian agenda. Cue the X-Files music. Yeah, no, that's... You know what's funny is, and it was kind of funny behind the scenes when we got that comment about being like having a vendetta against Paradigm, which is so not true. One of the things that made me upset about that is there are only about 3 brands in this industry that I have like repeatedly given my money to over and over again at like full retail, finding a dealer, searching out someone, like, you know, everybody has to. And it is, one of them is Paradigm. One of them is Paradigm. And so for people to sit there and say that because for whatever reason they pretend we don't exist has something to do with a bias on our end is like, it makes me chuckle, but it also kind of frustrates me because I'm like, I've literally spent tens of thousands of dollars of my own money with this brand going back to like 1997.
Well, and it just kind of makes you wonder, like, where are these assumptions coming from? You know, because like we said to the person in our response, like, this, you know, it's kind of our business model to bring you reviews.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Obviously,
yeah.
The number of Paradigm questions or requests we get on a regular basis is pretty significant. So, you know, we're never trying to like not bring you something that you want, but it's also difficult to reward kind of shitty behavior, you know, by people that...
Let's put it this way. I've left a message on one of the owner's personal phone numbers. Like, we know how to get a hold of them. I've left messages and they have gone unreturned. So it's like, I don't know what more to do. ABX audiophile again. When are we going to see the Soundpoint 10 review? There is nothing on the schedule right now. To be perfectly blunt, we were not told anything about that loudspeaker. I woke up to the news, same as many of you, and that resulted in me firing off a couple of emails to our contacts in and around MoFi saying, what the hell? And so I don't know what their plans are with respect to review units or what. Like I said, they did not share anything with us about that product. I'm as curious as you are. Brian Ashley, I don't see a question, Brian, but thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you very much for your support. Let's see. Oh, no. I don't like it when it jumps ahead on here. Okay. Johnny Johnson, thank you again. What do you think is a good floor standing speaker and turntable for the Sony DH-STR190? Love your show. Honestly, if you have, I'm seeing that you're coming to us from somewhere afar, so I don't pretend to know what speakers or what everything that may be available to you. But I would say for the STR190 Sony, check out that Polk XT line. I might sound like a bit of a broken record today. It is what I am as impressed with the XT line as I was when I first discovered Yamo like 2 or 3 years ago, except if you find Yamo or clip speakers to be bright or have too much of that smile-like curve, you know, boosted bass, accentuated treble, sucked out mid-range, that very dynamic sound. If the Yamo sound isn't for you and you're looking for something a little bit more neutral or linear, that XT line, man, it's the business. Let's see. TechMed, thank you. I see the animation on my screen. You guys, you're missing out on it. I apologize.
It's a fun little guy.
It's a fun little blue pear with a headband. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cute.
Yeah, super cute.
I tried to at you, TechMed, but I'm having, I don't know. The chat is giving me fits. So
yeah. New member, Simon Taylor. You have an amazing new listening space. Next year, I will have a 12 by 18 foot space to set up. Do you think you might set up a smaller room again? I mean, I don't know. I guess you could argue that the smaller room is our bedroom system, but for, you know, privacy reasons, we're not going to, like, we don't want to broadcast every square inch of this house. what I'm most excited about, I don't know if we're going to go smaller, but what I'm most excited about is if we can ever get designs finalized and contractors and people to show up when they mean to. We have an outdoor seating area idea plan for like an outdoor theater. Like that is something I'm really looking forward to, but that may end up being like 6 to 8 months from now or longer at the rate we're going. So Brian Ashley, got my hands on an RZ50, did a firmware update and bricked the unit. What? Oh no. New. Wow. Okay. Did a firmware update and bricked the unit. Did you do the firmware update via the USB or did you do it over the air? Because at USB maybe I could understand, but over the air? Wow. I returned it and ordered an LX505. Am I going to be disappointed?
I mean, I don't
think you're going to be disappointed. You're going to end up basically with the same unit, give or take a feature or two.
I'm still more confused about what happened with the RZ50, and I have questions like, was it not under warranty? Could you not like get any help or support?
Yeah,
like that is to me the bigger question.
Can I give Brian $10 back so he can so you can tell us the full story? But thank you, Brian, and I'm really sorry to hear about that. I've run probably 4 or 5 updates on my RZ50 at this point, and fortunately, I was about to say sadly, but fortunately, I haven't had the same experience. Ponko? Starting my audiophile path, upgrading to Onkyo RC50 Klipsch 8000F because of your reviews, waiting for the gear to arrive. You are in for just a rockin' good time with that combination. Dirac, if you don't have a lot of placement flexibility with those rear ported Klipsches, Dirac is going to be your friend, and so don't be afraid to experiment with Dirac. And also try out Onkyo's Room EQ software in there too. You can do both. You can't do both on top of each other, but you can, compare and contrast which one you like best. But I think you're going to have a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Let's see. Oh my God, I am so far behind.
There was a J-bar.
Chris. Brooks Burdan moved and doesn't do mail-in repairs. Any suggestions for reliable hi-fi repairs, SoCal local or mail-in? Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Full disclosure, he is a friend. I'm so sad that first of all, I'm sad that Brooks Burdan passed away, but I'm so sad that they moved their operation out of California, because we were just in California not that long ago and I wanted to take Kristi there, but they had already moved out of the state. So anyway, the person you're going to want to reach out to for mail-in repairs is Lenny over at Just Audio. He's the guy I trust, and his staff is pretty top-notch. So you can find his info on YouTube. They have their own YouTube channel and whatnot, and yeah, he's where I would send you. Snarky Trucker, I think I am mature enough to join my first channel. I want it to be special. If I make you my first, will you promise to love me?
I already told him that we already do love you.
We do. I just love your avatar, dude.
You're one of the oldies but goodies. Yeah. And so, of course we will continue to love you.
We appreciate you. All right, here's another one. It's an animation, guys. It says critical nut hit. You're missing out. There's so many fun little animations over here. It's pretty crazy. Jerome, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You've missed a couple.
Not according.
Where did it go? There was one. I actually responded to him. It was like J-Bar AUS or
That's
something.
the one I'm on right now.
Oh, my bad.
She doesn't even watch our streams. It's funny. Okay, J-Bar. Really interested to know how you are finding your in-ceiling speakers. In particular, do you find that ceiling-mounted side channels are effective? I love our in-ceiling speakers.
I love them.
This one, she loves them. She did not like them going in. She was giving me the dirty looks while they were cutting holes.
I hated it.
She was like, I'm gonna
I was like, I think we made a mistake.
I think we made a mistake, but now that they're in, oh my God, she loves them. She loves them. In fact, I mean, we both do. Do I think that side-mounted channels that are meant to be kind of off to the side, being mounted on your ceiling, is that a bad thing? No, I don't believe that it is. But I was very careful to make sure that we had the proper spacing and positioning of the ceiling speakers. And then, you know, we did some angling of them because the drivers can kind of move, so that near as makes no difference. They kind of sound like maybe they were positioned higher up, but on the sides. And I just think I think they're fantastic. So just, if I can give anyone any advice, if you're thinking about doing something like this, don't be afraid to, if you're not very handy, seek out an installer, someone, check references to make sure that you're going to get good work. And then third, go to Dolby.com, Dolby Audio or Dolby.com, and look at their speaker placement diagrams. They have all of the information on how to do this and how to where to put the speakers so that you can maximize your Dolby Atmos and just surround sound performance, and follow those guides. I know there are other outfits out there where it's like, oh, you want this for this platform, or you want this for this platform, be it DTS or Oro or whatever. Follow Dolby. Follow Dolby, because you're going to get the most out of it, because they're the ubiquitous surround sound format. So best to have everything dialed in for them, rather than chase something super esoteric that may work for 1 or 2 movies when Dolby is kind of the standard, you know? So Ryan W., if my goal is low volume listening with R700s, better to go with Emotiva Bass X line with a linear power supply over XPA and its variable power supply. I honestly, dude, low level listening, I don't pretend to know what is low level to you, but I'm going to say low level listening is 50 to 70 dB. Doubt you're going to notice a difference. That's just me. KC Lie, Mr. 800 drinks on me. Cheers, buddy. Cheers. Appreciate it. It's sparkling water. It's not vodka. That comes later. TechMed, Rainer, Richter, you're dearly welcome. Kristi, always your content. Love you guys doing it together. Appreciate you being a new member there, TechMed. He's a rejoining member. He's a rejoining? Oh. I believe so. Okay. Well. Yeah. These are things that I keep track of. All right. I don't want to butcher your name, sir. I wonder if Marantz Cinema 50 is capable of 5.1.4 Atmos setup with bi-amping front plus left plus right without external amplifier. Well, I can tell you it's capable of a 5.1.4 Atmos setup. I did not attempt to try bi-amping with that unit, partially because I just don't really do that. I believe, though, it is. You know what you could do? I'm going to say I'm 95% sure it can do everything you just said. But what you should do is literally go on Google, type in Cinema 50 bi-amp and the word manual, and it'll literally take you to the page that will answer that question. I know these things because you guys will leave me questions like this in the video, and I literally just highlight the part of your question and I plop it into Google and I get your answer. Little pro tip. Let me Google that for you. Here's a little tip. So here is a little tip. So thank you. It might be enough for coffee. So split it with Kristi. No. No. You want to know why I'm not going to? Because I am the barista in this house and she doesn't tip. She gets free coffee, usually twice a day, in a machine I bought for her that she does not use, but she is always like, she's like a kid peering over the thing like, can we have coffee now? Can we have coffee now? He makes such good coffee, and actually he's spoiled me so much with this coffee that when we go out to coffee shops, which prior I would have thought they were serving excellent coffee, and now I'm like, this tastes like garbage. So Yeah, but funny story about coffee. First of all, I'm falling down rabbit holes with this coffee YouTuber guy. I love watching his content, but I can never bring myself to be as invested in coffee as he is. Anyway, funny story. Oh no.
Did you lose it?
Oh, we have signed up for a subscription service to a bean company. So we get our beans mailed to us through someone that used to through sponsoring the channel. So if you're all like, oh, these people that sponsor the channel, they're it's not real or they're just being paid. We actually continue to use the service because we're so in love with the coffee, which is a great segue, ladies and gentlemen, to today's sponsor. That's right. We have our first live stream sponsor. And you guys know we're just huge fans of Arylic, and so we're really excited to have them as today's sponsor. And they're sponsoring the channel because they are having this huge Black Friday sale coming up. And so if you're on the market for an affordable, easy to use, do-it-all streamer with whole home streaming capability, you need to check out Arylic. So for Black Friday, you can save 20 to 30% on orders over $199. All of the discount codes are right there in the description. Seriously, Kristi's probably leaving a bunch free. I don't know. Anyway, Arylic products come with a 1-year warranty and a 30-day free return policy. And shipping, it's always like super fast because they got warehouses like all over the US. So anyway, check out Arylic's Black Friday sale using the link below, and don't forget to use their coupon codes to save money this holiday season. So thank you to Arylic.
Yes, thank you, Arylic.
For sponsoring today's live stream. All right, guys, back to your questions.
I mean, was that not fancy or what? Have we come a long way?
We have come a long way. I have to say, guys, our first live stream was somehow like not quite in 4:3. I looked like I was being shot on a flip phone. Our audio was 60 days delayed. It was like being delivered to you via snail mail. And now we're in crispy 1080p. We've got your questions. Like, come on. This is our 11th show. Can you believe it? This is our 11th show. The first 5 I should probably delete so that we always look nice and polished. But Anyway, Julio, I'm getting a Marantz 50 and pair it with Wharfdale 4.1 thanks to you. Is it overkill? No. Have a blast.
No.
Have a blast.
Not.
I think you're gonna like it.
That's a great receiver.
It really is. It really is. And it's gonna be even better when they actually turn Dirac on. What? What?
No, he didn't.
Really great channel. Do you know of a relatively decent stereo AV system with speakers for about $1,000? You need to check out our budget playlist. You need to check out our budget playlist, and you probably need to stay tuned for our very, I don't want to say this, I think it's our last receiver of the year. And it's the Denon X1700H. That review is coming shortly. But if you don't want to wait, you can go ahead and check out a link for that in the description. Or Kristi,
I just dropped him the budget playlist.
Playlist, and then check out the Denon. I think you're going to find everything you're looking for there. But I will say this: the Polk XT line. I'm going to be a broken record. It's freaking great. Oh, no. Just as I'm about to click, guys, it's insane. Just as I'm about to click. Here we go. Peter. Room is 20 feet deep, 11 feet wide, 8 feet high. Looking for towers. Emotiva T2 Plus, T3 Plus, or Polk R700, or Arundel 1961s. Used mainly for theater, but sometimes to rock out. Which would you choose, Polk? Because you said rock. Because you said rock and you said theater. So, Polk. It's the Swiss Army knife of sub $5,000 speakers. There's absolutely nothing it can't do. So, Polk. Uh-oh. Michael Finnegan, trying to send a super chat, keeps giving me an error message.
It It might be your country of
It
origin or
may
something.
be,
I don't
or a
know.
setting, but tell you what, Mike, I'm going to have Kristi look for your question, but go ahead.
Have it at me.
At Kristi, so it'll highlight it for her, and then we'll see what we can do for you. Thank you for what you guys do. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it very much. Jerome. Hi, Andrew. I have an old home theater system, the SPPK52FS from Pine. I hope you guys are like copy pasting these and you have not committed that word salad to memory. From Pioneer Andrew Jones. What would be a good receiver to pair with it? Is the Onkyo RZ50 maybe overpowered? No, it's not. Because those speakers, if I'm not mistaken, were 84 to 85 dB sensitive with about a 6 to 4 ohm load. So as affordable as they were in true Andrew Jones fashion, they were hungry, hungry hippos when it came to power. So the RZ50 would not be overkill. Now that speaker system costs less than RZ50 money. So, you might be able to get away with like a Pioneer 305, which is $999 or $1,100, which is a little cheaper. It still has Dirac. But no, it wouldn't be overkill. Let's see. Vadim. Okay, here's a good one. What are y'all favorite sandwiches? What's the best one you ever had and where? I hope everyone is having fun.
Oh, man.
Oh,
well,
geez.
you know, Andrew makes a pretty good caprese sandwich.
Yeah.
With, you know, fresh mozzarella and focaccia bread with some,
tomatoes
and
olive oil, salt, and
basil like paste or something. Pesto.
I'm like, basil paste? What is she talking about?
Brain not functioning.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what I was talking about.
Yeah. Highly recommend it. And then I stick it all in the oven, let it all toast down, melt a little bit.
Oh yeah, and I love a sandwich with an egg on it. Like an egg sandwich.
Guys, this live stream is going to end real soon if you guys keep talking about food.
And no, I'm not drinking.
What we want to know, or what cocktails are on deck for this evening?
None.
None at the moment.
We're straight sober.
We're straight sober. It's kind of early afternoon here. I don't know, maybe later. I'm still trying to perfect like my version of a sidecar martini. So I might play around with that a little bit later, but not sure.
I just like vodka and soda. I'm pretty simple.
Pretty basic. Chris, Andrew's first song is Ever Loving. I don't know if it's okay. Yeah, okay. Kristi, your favorite. I'm going to say what's your favorite demo song is what he's asking.
Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, we're sort of obsessed right now with the Lady Blackbird
anything really
song.
Anything she
Make
releases.
a Fool Out of You or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that Crystal Method song that you started
High Roller.
playing. Oh yeah, that's fun.
High Roller is a great demo. If you want to check out the spaciousness or spatial quality of any speaker, whether it be in surround sound or 2-channel, Crystal Method's High Roller is one I turn to time and time again. Another one is 2 Lanes Drifting. If your speakers have good dispersion, both horizontally and vertically, 2 Lanes Drifting should put sound overhead with no overhead channels present. So those would be 2 really good ones to check out. Hi, Andrew. Love your stream and knowledge. What do you make of Polk Monitor XT70s for a 16.5 by 13 foot room? And generally about bass radiators in speakers. I think those speakers will work great. I do. I think a room of that size, you could probably even maybe step it up to the line above if you have the budget. But I think those speakers would do great. And I like a speaker that has a more passive radiator design. To me, they become easier to integrate into a room. They tend to not have, they tend to not have a great deal of bass boost or bloat. So I see no downside to them. Sometimes they can be a little less sensitive, but that just isn't the case with the Polks in this instance. So yeah, I see no reason. If that's the one you have your eye on, go for it. Thanks for all the effort you put into your videos. They are fantastic. Would you be willing to do a how-to video on TV calibration? Guys, I have gone back and forth on this. I've gone back and forth on this a lot. The reason I haven't done it yet is to do it properly, you need special software. There's not like the DVE Essentials disc that was making the rounds, 10 years ago. That's not calibration, that's adjustment. To do a proper calibration requires special tools. And for some of you, no judgment because I've been there, those tools are cost prohibitive. Light meters, colorimeters for television calibration or projector calibration can start at $200 and go up to $20,000. And that's not an exaggeration. That is literally what they can cost. I had a color a meter from DisplayCal. Had it for years. It crapped the bed literally like, gosh, maybe 5 months ago. That meter was over $1,000, and the replacement for it you can now get for like $300 or $400. But the software, DisplayCal, CalMan, which used to be SpectraCal, which is now DisplayCal, I want to say is still in the thousands of dollars. And for some of you, you might be calibrating a television that only cost you $1,200, $1,500, and the software and the tools needed to quote calibrate it are cost more than twice what the TV costs. I have found a piece of software on Windows. I'm a Mac guy, so I have to use Parallels, but I found a piece of software on Windows that I've been using to take measurements and calibrate TVs. It's pretty good. I'm not going to say it's as good as DisplayCal, but or as good as CalMan, but maybe I can find a link for it and leave it in the comments or the description. It's open source, man. It is pretty. It's like RumiQ Wizard. It's very powerful, but you're on your own on how to use it. I still have to refer to the forums and the manuals as I double check my work against the software that I'm most comfortable with. But I've started using that because maybe in the future, if I feel confident in the results time and time again, like I'll do something, because I just don't see a lot of you rushing out and being like, I'm gonna buy a $5,000 calibration rig, and so nothing on the schedule yet, but it is a damn good question. VK, hello, I have spent about 4,000 euro following your reviews. What would you upgrade next? Node with PD creative upgrade. I don't even know what that is, dude. I'm sorry.
PD creative?
PD that sounds like someone's cracking open nodes and like telling you they're tweaking it and adjusting it and making it better. I would never do that. Musical Fidelity M5 SI or Heco Aurora. Well, I don't know what you have currently, so I don't know what any of these are, but I will say this. I am never going to advocate for a third-party tweak of a consumer product. It's one thing if a small upstart brand wants to make something of their own from scratch and offer it as their own unique bespoke product, like Deckware, for example. That is a small brand that makes a product that is now hugely popular. But someone that's going to take something like a Node, which is a known thing, performs great on its own, it doesn't need tweaking, and they're going to add something to it to somehow make it compete with a $30,000 widget for a $500 added investment. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That you're probably going to be taken for a ride. As for the Musical Fidelity, M5 SI is great. And the Heco Auroras, again, I don't know what you have, so I can't say yay or nay if that's even going to be an upgrade. Let's see here. Just testing Super Chat, because your 10 euro question, well, what was it? What was it? Hey guys, can you get a good image in a two-person setup, side-by-side recliners? hey guys, okay. For a second there, I was like, can we get a good image of the two of us side by side? I'm like, what? All right, hey guys, can you get a good image in a two-person setup, side by side recliners? If so, please enlighten me how. Can you get a? So you're saying you have two recliners side by side.
Two bushes.
We got two bushes. For those of you that watch Wrecked, which no one did.
No one did. That's
no
why
one
I got
you did. That's
canceled.
why I got canceled. But if you go to TBS DVR or on demand, watch Wrecked. Not that they're ever going to bring it back, but it's the 3 best seasons of your life. Anyway, so I'm picturing you have two recliners side by side, and you're asking if you can have a good image like on the TV in front of you.
Maybe no. Maybe he means
imaging
like a soundstage.
Oh,
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Well, there's 2 ways to tackle this. 2 ways. You could potentially angle your speakers a little bit more straight ahead, thus broadening the sweet spot potentially. Though you may find that the absolute pinpoint focus, as you tilt your speakers more straight ahead, depending on your speakers, I don't know what kind of speakers you have, may affect things. You could pull your speakers a little bit further apart and then toe them in so that they're kind of pointing at the spot between the 2 recliners, or just get a center channel. If you want a better center image, put a speaker in the middle. That would be my advice. Sorry about the long-winded promo for a show that's been canceled for like 5 years. But seriously, you should everyone's homework tonight is to go to TBS and watch Wrecked and tell them I sent you and have them all go, why are you watching this show? All right. Okay, let's see. I just saw one. There it is. Nathan Bell. Which would you pick for near field rears in a 4.1? Kanto YU passive, Fluence XL8S, 8S, or Yamo S803, fronts or Paradigm mini monitors. Ooh, if you have mini monitors, you, for probably the most seamless sound tonally in this order, Kanto YU passive, Yamo, Fluence. Just make sure if they're in a near field situation, that is, if I understand you correctly, your surrounds are going to be a lot closer to you than maybe what's recommended or what a larger room would allow. Adjust the volume accordingly. Otherwise, you're going to kind of get like quad stereo out of the thing, and that's going to be really distracting. But I would say, based on mini monitors since '99, because I had those, YU passive, then Yamo, then Fluence. Joshua Burkett, thank you very much. There's a little animation of that pair again, saying we are amazing. Appreciate that. We think you guys are amazing. Hey, from Texas. I am struggling with a modern replacement to my Pioneer SX780. It's paired to Klipsch RP500Ms, and the loudness switch always stays on. Nothing compares in the 150 to 300 hertz range. Suggestions? Justin, I mean, one of the things you can try if you want a modern, first of all, if you always have the loudness switch or button engaged, then the only integrateds or receivers you should be looking at in the modern era are ones with tone controls, because all loudness is really doing is boosting the bass and boosting the treble, so that you have that kind of dynamic curve at all volumes. That's all it's doing. So yeah, you could go with any integrated or receiver and just take the tone controls and kind of, plus a little bass, up a little treble. An example would be Yamaha. I mean, I'm not their biggest fan of their cheap integrateds. But if you were to go with an AS1200, which if that's too much, I apologize. I'm just using it as an example. You could do that. The Denon PMA series. I know we did the 900, which was like $700 or $800, I think. Has a little bit of an old school charm to its sound. That has tone controls. You could do that. It might even, now that I think about it, did the 900 have a loudness button? I don't remember. But that's really something that you should, consider, because that's really all the loudness button is doing. So.
And I dropped the links to the products he just mentioned for you in the chat, Justin.
David, Andrew, can you please comment on the Canton Chrono DC versus the Polk R700? I can't. It has been, the last time I heard a Canton product was in 2005 or 2006. And I found them to be a lot of fun. I think the brand historically has always been excellent, and I've historically loved their products. They disappeared from the US market for a minute. I understand that they are coming back, or they are back, and maybe things will change in 2023 as far as us bringing you Canton reviews, but I can't comment on the direct comparison. I'm so sorry. Let's see here. I saw another one. Oh, appreciate it. Oh, Chadley, I have the new RP600M Mark IIs. My current 15-year-old subwoofer can't keep up. Rattles, sounds distorted at decent volumes. What suggestions under $1,500? Well, I'll just tell you to use the sub that we used when we reviewed the 600 Mark IIs, which was the Klipsch SPL 100, which is a front slot ported subwoofer, 10-inch, 350 watts. It's actually really good subwoofer. It really is. I love it. We use it all the time. And depending on when you shop, if you shop right now, I think it's close to retail, but or Klipsch is probably having one of their many sales of the week, in which case maybe you can get it for way less. I don't know. Kristi will hit you with the link for that, but that's where I would steer you.
Wait, what am I linking?
The SPL 100 subwoofer from Klipsch.
Yeah.
It's what we use. It's what we used in that review. It's a great pairing and designed to go together. So I think you'll be pretty happy. Owen, thank you very much. Owen didn't have a question, just dropping a thanks.
We always appreciate that.
Yes.
Just so you know.
Are 2 subs always better than 1? I currently have a Klipsch 10-inch and the Home Theater Pioneer 305. Are 2 subs always better than 1? No, they are not. That is a common misconception. There are 2 myths about subwoofers that are pretty, that permeated the home theater landscape. And that is 2 subs equals more bass. Not true. In fact, if you have the second sub set up wrong, it will actually rob the first sub and you of bass. And 2, that 2 subs always result in smoother bass than 1. And that is assuming that the first one or the second one are set up and placed properly. And a lot of times, people go by the diagrams, or they go by what they see in ads, and they throw a sub in a corner, and then they go, well, I have another corner, and they throw a sub in that one. And both of those positions could be potentially wrong. So I am a huge proponent of starting with 1 sub, getting it right, and then, and only then, thinking about adding another. There are so many companies out there that advertise, like, we'll sell you 2 subwoofers at a time. You don't know if you may not even need the second one. So start with 1, get it right, dial it in, and then really start to understand, like, what is it do I feel like I'm missing? And if it comes down to, you have a room with, say, 2 rows of seats, right? And when you're in the front row, your single sub hits you like a sledgehammer, feels good, it's awesome. But then you move to the back row and somehow the bass is missing. Then you might be a candidate for that second subwoofer, because that second row of seating may be in a null in your room, in which case you need to move a bass source. If you can't move the seats, you may need to move a bass source to kind of overpower that null. But that's how you know when you need a second one. But if, let's say, you just have a single couch and it seats 3, or maybe it seats 5, I don't know, and every bass hits you like a sledgehammer and always sounds good, don't add a sub. It's not going to do anything for you. Alex, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, Thomas, new Hi-Fi member. Love that. Thank you. Oh, and then YouTube went YouTube on me. There it is. Are we doing good today? Am I keeping up?
Thomas, yes, I did mean another micro. If you need another sub or a second sub.
Oh, okay.
We're having an offline conversation.
Offline comment?
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is Robert. Hello there. Love your channel. It's one of the reasons I got into audio in the first place. I want to ask, how long do speakers last? You know what? This is actually a really funny question for me, because if you look at eBay, the people that sell speakers secondhand, I would say speakers don't appear to last very long, because half the stuff that I look at eBay, like wanting to get my hands on secondhand, all of these speakers look like they've been thrown down a flight of stairs, or that y'all just, I don't know what you do, like you just abuse them. A speaker should last, in theory, forever, provided you don't drop kick it, give it the people's elbow,
or put it in an attic like
my
dad did.
Or put it in an attic, or leave it in the trunk of a car on a 120-degree day. I mean, I have some Bang & Olufsen speakers that are going on 30, 35 years old, and they still perform as new, and they still look as new. And I'm not, I mean, I do take care of my stuff, and I wasn't even the first owner. And I paid a little more to make sure that I got a good pair, because like anything secondhand, there are a lot of really, really banged up Bang & Olufsens. But if you take care of them, you know, you dust them, you follow the instructions in the manual, you live in a home that has climate control. I'm not saying you have to keep your place like a refrigerator or a humidor, but you just live your life and treat them as you would anything else that you value. They're probably going to last a really, really long time. Sorry, there's a giant truck that's driving by our house. I understand you only buy LP, not CD. Why is that? Your best argument for LP. I am not going to try and convince you to buy records. Sorry, I don't buy CDs because, well, frankly, you can stream at CD quality, and I'd rather have all of the music than a collection of discs that take up space. And I understand that, you know, you can buy discs secondhand for like $1 or 50 cents or anything like that, but I still have to store it, and I still have to go find it, and I still have to this, and I still have to that. And so I just made the decision probably 10 plus years ago, just I'm not gonna buy CDs. And I ripped my entire CD collection to a series of hard drives, and it took up terabytes. And I still have all those drives, and they are sitting in a streamer that I never plug in because,
well,
I rarely plug it in. Because I can get everything on Apple Music or Tidal or Spotify or, you know, whatever.
Honestly, I feel like once you've lived through like an era of something, it's, you know, like CDs, who really wants to go back to having all that plastic, those plastic cases everywhere, or have to flip through the stupid, you know, accordion books that stick together? I mean, really, do you really want to go back to that? I don't. I mean, I'm not interested in plugging in a 8-track either. So, I mean,
but then here we go with saying like, but why do I buy vinyl? I don't buy as much vinyl as maybe people think. Number one,
totally not.
I think a lot of you probably think that I have a whole room that is floor to ceiling records, and that's not true. My vinyl collection is very heavily curated. It's probably only about 150, 200 records tops. Partially because I don't want to go surfing for something that I want to listen to in that moment. I want to know where it is and how to get to it. But why do I buy vinyl? At this point, lately, the only 2 or 3 records I've bought in the last 4 months, I've purchased because I want to directly benefit the artist. And so I have bought the records directly from them. These are either people I know, friends of mine who are recording artists, or these are artists that I followed back in the 90s who have finally had their albums released on vinyl for like the first time. And they were selling small batch quantities directly which benefited them and their team or their musicians. And so I bought, kind of not so much for the hi-fi value of it, but more for they don't have to split this revenue with anybody thing. And so if I buy records lately, unless I'm buying, a cheapie in a, $5 bin, and I'm just looking for some kind of jazz album, I'm taking a risk, and it cost me $5. That's really what I'm buying records for lately. So,
plus the thing that I love about streaming is you can let it recommend new music.
Oh my God.
It's a great way to discover new artists.
I will say this, when Apple Music first came out, the algorithm, its recommendations, it's this, it's that, were terrible. And I made a whole video about it. And I chose Tidal over Apple Music because Apple Music didn't get me. Well, the designers over there, I'm not saying they watched our video and they were like, we got to make Andrew happy. But the designers over there really have put in the time. And Apple's recommendations, Apple's shuffles, their playlists, oh my God. They have gotten me so involved in new artists that I didn't even know existed. They are the reason so many of you are listening to Lady Blackbird. Straight up. It's because of Apple Music. Lastlings, Apple Music. Two Lanes, Apple Music. It's insane. They are just promoting banger after banger to me. And if you're into that sort of hybrid classical electronic new age jazz, they're where it's at right now. It's great. It's great.
Larry Sadaman says, best thing about physical media is how it supports the artist.
Correct.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree that physical media does. I also feel like if you can go see them live, even better, because that costs them a lot of money to put on live shows. But honestly, if you're just listening and sharing and talking about them with your friends and spreading the love and the word, I mean, whatever you can do helps support creative people. There's not just one way to do it.
So Robert asks, I just bought the Klipsch 600M Mark IIs, love them. Would it be a problem if I mix the R50s into my home theater as surround? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It would not be a problem at all. Just abide by proper setup and make sure that you set the levels of your surrounds to not be too loud or too soft, and you'll be fine. I saw a question here. Sorry guys, it's not a super chat, but it just caught my eye. Jamie Hill, how small is a gap between a $2,000 speaker and $5,000 to $10,000 speakers these days? Small enough you probably can't fit a credit card through it.
What is it?
Chris wrote Selma.
Oh, I know. You're way behind.
I'm way behind. I'm trying to catch up.
I laughed about that with him.
Oh, man.
Many minutes ago.
Dwayne, hello, my friends. It seems you've fallen in love with the Polk R line. How would you rank the Hecko 7 Aurora against the Polk R line? I suspect that they might be closer to the R500. Your thoughts? I would probably say that the Hecko 700s are going to be a little bit closer to the R500s. The Hecko is more in line with, say, a Klipsch 8000F Gen 1. I haven't heard the Gen 2s, but it has more similarities to that kind of more fun, punchy, lively sound, whereas the R700s start to really lean more into that more nuanced, neutral, full range sound that I have gotten from higher end Rebels of old. Like, I'm not joking, guys. The R700s remind me a lot of my Salon 2s in a lot of respects. A little less bright than the Salon 2s, but from the mid-range down to the bass, they're very Salon 2-like. So yeah, Hecko's weird for me because I don't have anything against the brand. I really don't. I feel kind of betrayed by that whole situation. And we don't have to get into it, but the speakers are good. The speakers are really, really good. I don't like that there's a monopoly on how you get your hands on them now. and I was not a big fan of that. And I really fought hard, or tried to get people not to you know, kind of hamstring you guys into one spot. But yeah, I would say the 700s are probably going to be more in line with the R500s, although I have not heard the R500s, but they're much more of just a dynamic, punchier sound. Whereas the R700s, if set up correctly, have a little bit more of that kind of that neutral vibe. Let's see here. Oh no, maybe it's jumping me ahead because it knows I'm so behind. Let's see here. There we go. Here we go. I've caught up. Revenant. Dad gave me a 1970s vintage Carver C4000 preamp and M500 amp. He used M&K satellites. Do you have any speaker suggestions? Carver. When was the last time I heard a Carver product? What was on it? It's funny. The last time I heard a Carver product, the speakers they were powering, they're no longer in business either. They were powering Teal and Snell speakers, both of which you can't get. M&K, boy, M&K's got kind of that control room like sound. So if you liked that, maybe Arundel. Control room like sound, maybe Arundel, maybe the JBL, what was it, 4309s? The little two-way bookshelf with the horn tweeter.
What are we talking about?
Some speakers that would go well with the Carver amps. You don't know Carver amps. I don't know
Carver, so I cannot help you. Sorry.
Maybe, I don't know what your budget is, so I don't want to, gosh, I don't want to give you like something to be like, oh, that's nice, that'd be great. So control, going off of M&K, you like that, the tight focused sounds. Maybe Arundel. Try them out, or take a look, see if it's something that interests you. Let's see. Thomas, thank you for what you do about the Onkyo RC50 SVS Micro 3000 and an Emotiva Bass X 3-channel amp. Well, geez, that's the hat trick right there. I'm just happy that you're happy. I really am. You bought 3 really, really great products. You really did. Hi guys, if I find my B&W 803Ns just a tad forward for my tastes, XPA5 SR7013, would an R700 be less aggressive? Yes. Yes. I mean, the R700s will be less aggressive. Other suggestions hovering around $2,500 a pair. I would say if you can go to like $3,000, the Concept 50s from Q Acoustic will also feel less aggressive. But if you like a little bit of bass, and coming from 803s, were those are the towers. R700 is going to seem a little less aggressive for sure, Moon Dragon, cool name. If a tower speaker does 39 to 35 hertz, will the sub be needed for pure stereo listening? That is the question, isn't it? Look. If you have these speakers, and I'm going to assume that you do, if you have these speakers, they're already in your home and you're enjoying them, and you feel the bass is sufficient, even though you know on paper they're not hitting 20. Ignore the paper and go with your ears and enjoy what you have. If you want to know, then you're going to have to buy a speaker, i.e. a subwoofer, that lets you get down there. But I wouldn't be surprised if you're satisfied with the bass that a tower like this puts out, if you don't find a sub to be too much, or you find that you like the sub, but you end up playing it really low, and it only really is noticeable when you're listening at really high volumes. This is one of those things that kind of annoy me about some enthusiasts, especially enthusiasts that are always like, towers are better. If you listen at 95 to 110, 115 dB all the time, then yeah, okay, tower makes sense. And a tower with a subwoofer may have easier time outputting those truly concert level volumes over a bookshelf and a sub. The problem is I have yet to run into somebody, and I don't claim to have met everyone in the whole world, but I have yet to meet somebody in this space that routinely sits down and listens where everything is at 11 all the time, where I set my percolating volume levels 100 dB. Duh. I don't know anyone that does that.
They're deaf.
And if that's the case, and you find that you're listening at SPL levels that are more in the 60 to 75 dB range, which is where honestly I believe a lot of people honestly do listen. If you're ever curious, guys, if you're ever curious, like what is he talking about? Go on your phone, Google or iOS, go into the App Store, find an SPL meter. They're free. And they're not going to be the most scientific, but it's going to give you an idea. Download it to your phone. Play music, hit play, and just load and launch the app. And really see what number it's giving you. And turn it up. Like, this is how loud I normally listen. I think you're going to be shocked that you guys are, some of you may be like gripping the edges of your seat at 85, 88 dB. And so you've been watching all of these reviews or listening to other people, you know, like myself saying like, you need a tower because it has easier time getting to this volume and it pairs better with the sub when you're up here. That's all very true information. Nevertheless, if you don't ever listen that loud, you just spent a lot of money on a tower that you're not taking advantage of, in which case you would have had a better time with bookshelves and a sub. Let's see. High-res streaming is the way. Wise man once said, if you don't like change, you will hate extinction.
Such a great
Such
saying.
a great line. Such a great line. Glenn, Ortofon Black on a Rega Planar 3. Which Rega did we have? We had the P1.
I think so.
I wouldn't put it on a P1. Not that, I mean, you can put an Ortofon Black on whatever you want.
That's what I said.
You can put it on whatever you want, because honestly, the cartridge to preamp relationship is going to affect the sound more than like, ooh, the P3 or P1 have different tone arms and whatnot. I mean, do whatever you want. I mean, I have a 2M Black LVB on a $450 table, and I love it. So sure, absolutely. I was about to say some dumb stuff. Just ordered the shit Freya Plus today. Have you auditioned this? And if so, how was it on vinyl? Which one did we have?
I don't know, but you just left the screen.
Let me camera find my face. There it is. I don't have an opinion on it yet.
But whoever emailed them.
Oh yeah.
After was it our last live stream?
I think it was after our last live stream.
You guys must have hit them up.
You must have done something.
Finally got an email.
They came at us hard like the next day. Like, we're not afraid of you. And I'm like,
they suddenly found stock, which I found hilarious. But we got sent 2 products.
We have 3 shit audio products in house right now.
Well, is one of them the broken one or?
No, they replaced it.
Okay, right.
So we have the Freya non-plus preamp. We have their top of the line EQ, and we have their stereo Class A stereo amplifier.
Which one was the one that we had to get?
The preamp
replaced?
we had to exchange.
Okay.
Because we had the preamp, our sample, the right channel started to glitch out. But the new one, the replacement, is working fine. So yeah, I don't have an opinion for you. You guys are going to have to wait for that one. Let's see. Feliciano? How about those new MoFi Soundpoint 10 speakers? Also, will you guys be attending any concerts this upcoming year? How about those, MoFi? If you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, someone also asked about those. And long story short, we were not told anything about them. We weren't even notified that they were dropping. I woke up, made a coffee, sat down at my laptop, and learned that 4 or 5 people had already made videos about them. And that's how I found out that they existed. So I'm actually having a chat with MoFi tomorrow. And one of the things I would like to know is why that is. Why was I not notified about these speakers? But they're not on the schedule. I don't know if and when they will be, but hopefully I'll be able to bring you guys some news soon. Here we go. Oh, sorry. The second part of your question. Sorry guys, I'm going back. Will you guys be attending any concerts this upcoming year?
We just did.
We just attended a concert. It did not go well. Great band. We love the band. Fantagram. Great band. Love the band. The venue was trash.
Awful. The worst show I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was bad, guys. It was bad. When
I tell you, I was, because you know the band comes on and everybody's just freaking out, loving everything, excited. And, you know, about 2 minutes in, I'm looking at these people and I'm like, what the F are you enjoying right now? Because this sounds like garbage.
Yeah, it did. It sounded like
holy crap.
It sounded like a Wolverine stuck in a tin. I mean, it was all bass. I mean, and not in that fun way. It just... It's like, I think that's them. I think, you know. So yeah, it was pretty bad.
So disappointing.
But I bought tickets. We're going to be in LA in April, seeing our friend Darren, who's on tour. He's doing some North American dates, so we're going to be at what theater's at?
The Wiltern.
The Wiltern in April of next year to see Darren Hayes in his new 20 Years of Savage Garden and to promote his new album, Homosexual, which we're super excited about. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh my God, you just said homosexual.
I did. That's the name of his album. That's the name of his album.
But we're talking audio files here.
Hey, guys, I don't give a...
Explode a brain cell.
No, not you guys. Not this community. Not our...
Yeah, hopefully not this community.
Not our community. Because Darren is a gem. We love him.
We love homosexuals. Just for the record.
Yeah.
Anyway, Austin Hutchins, I'm just going to go ahead and answer your question really quick.
Wait,
you don't need to. Okay. You don't need to know.
All right.
The Sennheiser Ambio Plus review coming soon? No, it is not. It is not going to come soon. I don't know if it's ever. You know when it's going to come? It's going to come when we buy it.
Yeah.
Because ever since the new company has taken over Sennheiser, let me just say this: they are excellent at sending out a press release.
Mm-hmm.
But they are terrible when it comes to responding to emails about said press release, requests for phone calls about their products. They have just suddenly gone MIA, and I know that they get our messages because I track that shit. I can see when they open it, and that is even more infuriating, let me tell you, to know that someone is seeing the email and not responding. So unfortunately, as much as we would love to bring you that review.
And we most likely will, but
we'll have to buy it,
Kristi said, we're going to end up buying it. And right now, our dance card's full for the rest of the year. We have everything in-house that we're going to be talking about until, I think, the first or second week of January. So do the math. If we buy it, even if we buy it next week or the week after, you're not going to see that review until probably January. And that's only if we buy it in the next week or two, which I personally have no plans to do. Let's see. Andrew, I have a Pioneer LX304 using it for 7.1.2. Would a Denon 3700 or 3800 be a better upgrade? I do use Zone 2 and upgrade speakers to the XT70. I don't know, dude. Unfortunately, I've never heard the 304, or I don't have any experience that I'm aware of with the 304.
No, we haven't done that one.
I mean, the 3800, that's the one we just did, right? X3800H.
That's the brand new one.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I really liked that on a lot of levels. I think at its price point, given all the preamp outs that it had, it was very competitive. I think the Cinema 50 is better, but I understand like it's $1,000 more. But I don't ever use Zone 2. And your question is very specific about Zone 2s. And I don't use Zone 2, so I don't want to comment good or bad about how one receiver uses a second zone. Also, if you're planning on upgrading to the XT70, I don't know what you have before. I don't know what you have now. So I don't know if the XT70s would be an upgrade. So, man, I'm really sorry. Really sorry. Thank you. Thank you for asking, and thank you for joining us. Thank you, Scott. New mid-fi member. Appreciate that. Let's see. Okay. Thriller on SACD, thoughts or MoFi vinyl? I would get it on MoFi vinyl. I would. I'm probably the only guy in this hobby that honestly doesn't care how they're cutting their records, because the one thing in all of this stupid trumped up controversy, the one thing that everyone who was so enraged and just like, oh, I'm so mad. The one thing everyone kept saying was they're still the best records anyone's ever heard. And is that not the point? If the record's the best thing you've ever heard, then it's a good record. I have no doubt that Thriller on MoFi vinyl is going to be excellent. If I get it, I think it's going to be the 4th time I've bought Thriller on vinyl. So that would be my only hesitation, to be honest. Why, like, have you put your order in? No, because it's kind of like the movie Seven. For me, I've literally purchased it on every available format, and that includes digital VHS. And so after a while, I think David has enough of my money. Thank you so much for always being a great resource and being available to answer. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. We do our best, and I know there's so many of you and there's so many questions. We try and get to everybody. I mean, we've got about 45 minutes to go, so hopefully we'll keep going here. Wow, there's a comma in that. Thank you. I don't know what currency DOP is, but anyway, it doesn't matter if it's a dollar or a penny. I appreciate it, regardless. Or if it's $1,200, I really appreciate it.
If it's $1,200, we can bring you that Sennheiser Ambio review a lot quicker.
Guys, the Sennheiser Ambio is on.
It's in the cart.
It's in the cart. We're adding it now because. Oh man. Yeah. Where was I? I just lost my whole spot. I was queued up and everything.
Stop trying to be funny.
I shouldn't be funny.
Let me handle that.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks.
Anyway.
Okay.
You walked right through that one.
You meant to say I walked right into that one. Nick. Never. Hello, Andrew and Kristi. Love the channel. Have you ever reviewed or plan on reviewing any Totem speakers? Also, has Arcam not reached out to you yet with regards to the SA30? We have not reviewed any Totem speakers. It's been probably 5 to 6 years since I've heard a Totem speaker. Historically speaking, I do like them. I would not turn down a review of a Totem speaker if they were to reach out to us, but they haven't. As for the Arcam portion of this question,
I can answer that for you.
Kristi's got you.
The answer is, what do you think?
Wait a minute, you said
it's no.
SA30?
Well, I don't know. Is that the AVR?
No. They said they didn't have any AVRs, and then we said, well, what about the SA20 and SA30? We haven't, but that was as recently as when?
It's this week.
Doesn't mean we're going to get it.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I've been asking for Arcam anything for a year.
Yeah.
At this point, and we did get a word back finally about the AVRs. The answer is going to be no. No, you will not get any, and you will like it.
They didn't say that. They just said, unfortunately, we can't. They
have no stock, is what we were told.
Yeah.
So then I said, okay, how about an integrated? Any of them?
Any of them.
Any of them. I'm
literally,
not we'll literally take whatever.
Give us a discontinued one.
Something that has the name Arcam on it. Give it to me.
Give us a Denon and tape Arcam on it.
We did that for Sonos, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Or 200,000.
We took a Samsung, $199.
I don't think people liked that. They were kind of upset.
They didn't.
Anyway.
I need to stop being funny.
I don't know. As of now, we have no Arcam in the house or on the way. I'm sorry. I wish I had better news. I really, at this point, I want to hear it, and it better be damned freaking good, because, anytime, that's the thing. Anytime you make people wait for so long, and when I say people, I mean me.
Yeah, her. Yeah.
I'm like, if you're going to make me wait a whole year for something, it better darn well knock my socks off.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Historically, I've really loved Arkham, so I doubt that I'm going to be disappointed, but I understand where Kristi's coming from. All right, triangle BR03 or 08 in your queue. No, sorry. No. Drooling over your Eames chair in the background, about to order one. Worth it. Yes. Yes. As someone who years and years and years ago had a vintage original and like a dumbass sold it, and then getting knockoffs, even good ones, I can say there's no substitute for the genuine article, and you feel it the second you sit down. This is part of their new collection. I was trying to decide like which Eames chair I was going to buy, and then we were visiting a DWR showroom, kind of spur of the moment. Like, it wasn't planned. I didn't go there with the intention of like, today's the day. But this new colorway and leather just came out. This is the Mode color from Herman Miller. It is an upgraded leather, and it is soft. It's so soft. I think it's worth it. DWR is currently having their Herman Miller sale. I just got a notification in my inbox. So 20% off with free shipping. We bought ours on sale. You should take advantage. If you know, like, you're going to splurge, you're going to get the real thing, do it now because they're on sale, and that 20% ain't no joke. It is the difference between getting it for $4,800, $4,900 or paying $7,200. So highly recommended. Hashtag not sponsored, but should be. Any upcoming reviews on open baffle speakers or electrostatic speakers? Just interested in your thoughts. There aren't any at the moment. I've been eyeing eBay on almost nightly for some vintage electrostatic stuff because I kind of want to play with it again. But as of right now, no dice, no luck. Let's see. Thank you. Welcome, new member. Appreciate that. Jack Hayes. Hoping for a receiver rec. Okay. I have Infinity reference, R12 sub, R263 center, R162 left and right, and RS152 rears. Have a 1400H with multi-EQ XT, not the 32. Hoping for easy calibration, Dirac Live, and Oro 3D. Need bass control. Okay. Then you just need to step up into a new Denon, since you're already a fan of the Denon sound and you have a 1400H, stepping up to say the 1700H or the 3800H that we just reviewed. The 3800H will eventually, I believe, give you Dirac. It will do the Oro 3D. It will have the easy calibration with multi-EQ XT. I would have to go back into our storeroom and look at the 1700H. I don't believe that one will be getting Dirac, or no, it will not. Does it have XT32? I don't know. I'm still writing that review. So definitively, if you go with the 3800H, it will have everything on your list eventually, because the Dirac, if you didn't catch our review of that, the Dirac update for that is coming in March of next year.
I was told March.
March of next year. I
did ask the people, the powers that be at Sound United, what they were going to charge for Dirac, and I got a reply to say they were looking into it, but they haven't gotten back to me. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there. Some of it is conflicting. I know Kristi reached out directly to the people there, and we're getting semi-firm answers. So some of these people that are walking around like, it's gonna be this, I don't know where they're getting their info. Because literally, like, the CEO is like, we're still trying to decide. Stefan, my 2.1.2 setup is based on all your vids. Thanks. Well, thank you. But what do you have? Based on which vids exactly? Hey, another dancing peach with a headband saying thank you. Love that. All right. Okay. Hey, I'm caught up. I am so caught up. All right, I found a couple here that I would like to go back to. Pixie Pete, seriously thinking of giving away vinyl to charity, but I'm terrified of having seller's regret. Look, I can't speak to a vinyl collection, but from the time that I was, gosh, I was a little kid, I collected comic books. And I collected comic books throughout elementary school, middle school, high school, into and post college. My collection, when everything was said and done, was massive. So much so that when I finally was moving out of my college apartment into my first adult, real world space, I sat there and I looked at it long and hard, and I was like, I don't know how many more moves I'm willing to take the tonnage that was, my comic collection. And one of the funny things that had occurred when I lived in Pasadena, I was going to college, was the neighbor that lived next door to me in an apartment. She had a young son, and he would see me kind of come back from the comic store, and he would see that I have comics. And so he and I worked out a deal where I kind of became a comic book library, and he could come and check out books. He would leave a piece of paper where it was in my collection, and say, "Hey, I borrowed this, and I'll bring it back." And we did this for a little over a year, and it was great. And so when it came time to move, I asked his mom's permission because I dumped a lot of stuff on their porch, but I gave him my collection in full, and it's one of the best feelings I've ever had as a human being, because I want to say he was 10 or 11, maybe 12. And I remember being his age and collecting books, and he was going to appreciate them, whereas I was going to leave them in their sleeves in these boxes, and they were just going to occupy half of a spare bedroom in wherever I moved, because I've read them all. I have the memories up here. So that was great. I kept, I want to say about 25 books that meant a lot or more to me than any sort of face value, and I have those in a binder. But everything else I gave to him. So if you're in a place where you think that it's time, I wholeheartedly, I would recommend, give it away, give it to a school, gift them a record player and this. There's a lot of music classes out there that are hurting and need something like this. So always, 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 never a bad idea. Let's see. Oh, thank you, James. I feel if I highlight your question or your comment here, it's going to go against what it is that you say, but I want to acknowledge, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, Tony, Apple products can be considered hi-fi. Hi-fi is made up, right? Let's see.
Don't spoil it.
Alan, I would enjoy a whole show devoted to just the aesthetics of equipment.
Oh, man.
Man, so would we, man.
So would we.
So would we. The hobby probably wouldn't. Other channels definitely wouldn't. But
brands sometimes
brands
don't.
Sometimes won't.
Unless you tell them how amazing they are.
Yeah.
You would. Oh gosh, some of the emails that we get, guys.
Oh yeah.
When you're not like,
yeah,
this is the best thing ever.
Yeah. Oh.
How much longer will you live for?
What?
Oh my gosh, that's such a random question.
Well, we have a question here. Just added some old school Rotel external 1080 and 1066. You suggested Emotiva A3. What are some of your favorite amps? Any differences going with new amplifiers? Some of my favorite amps are, I've gone on, like I said, I've been on eBay a little bit. Some of my favorite amps of all time, you can get on eBay right now for, there's still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, $3-4 grand is still a lot of money. But like the Krell 402E Evolution, I want to say I had it in 2009, 2008 or 9. Retail on that was $18,000. It took every fiber of my being not a week ago to scoop one up on eBay for, I think, $2,800. And that amp would have been totally worth it at $2,800. Because that amp is hands down top 5 best amps ever. It was one of the last Krell amps from the Dan DiAgostino era with that brand. And it's just a monster. There's not a speaker on this planet it won't power, and won't power to absolute perfection. Mark Levinson, number 432 or number 433, which is a 3-channel amp, also phenomenal amplifier. I see him on eBay all the time for about $2,500. I wouldn't hesitate to pull the trigger on one of those so long as it was in good condition. I saw a Jadis amp from back in the day that I loved, shared it with Kristi, did not feel the same, so we will not be talking about that.
Was that the tube amp?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
the French
ugly.
Tube amp. Oh, they're so good.
But what was the one that you showed me the picture of on Instagram that had like the wood?
Oh yes,
What
there is
was
a
that?
there is a small European company that makes like one-off custom tube amplifiers. I don't, unfortunately, my phone is being used as part of the apparatus to bring you this live stream. Otherwise, I'd look it up for you. But yeah, no, that place is they're great. Deckware, another great amp that I love. I still love my Crown amps, guys. Holy cow, we just plugged in the XLS Drive Core 2, what did we have, the 1502? We just plugged that in for the first time in a couple of months to test a preamp that just came in. And
oh yeah, this was hilarious because
yeah.
we were testing,
Yeah.
we were doing some brief testing of the shit products.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, if you were listening earlier, one of the shit products we were sent, it originally had an issue, so it was broken. And we got the new one in, and he was testing it to make sure it worked. And I thought it was the shit products that we were listening to. And I was like, oh, well, this sounds great. And turns out it was Crown.
Yeah, it was a Crown XLS
connected
Drive
to
Core.
the shit something another.
The preamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was. I still love.
God awful ugly box, but it sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Crown, not the shit.
Amp. Well, look, we don't. Okay.
I'm talking about the aesthetics.
The aesthetics. Oh, yeah. The shit audio stuff, aesthetic stuff.
The Crown box is
it's
hideous.
It's hideous.
Hideous.
But it sounds good.
But it sounds very good. So if you can hide it, highly recommend.
Russell Perry, vintage B&O is the best looking. You know, I kind of agree with you. I mean, current B&O is still pretty, but I place my heart for the older stuff. Love the show and how you and Kristi have different viewpoints. Oh, we do. And you guys are going to want to tune in Sunday because some of the criticism we get in the comments, not from any of you guys watching, but from these fly-by-night fans that just sort of swoop in on a Sunday and they're
trolls.
they're like, how come she's never on camera? You know, they always think that I'm like feeding her, like you're supposed to agree with me and just parrot everything. She does not. She does not parrot everything. And you're going to see on Sunday, we come away with 2 very different lists. So for those of you that are like, well, no, I don't know which one to choose. Sunday's not going to help you, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see here. Oh, I just saw something here. Oh.
What's the matter?
What? Oh, we got held. Okay. Larry,
are you okay?
I'm looking at the Lumina 5. Finally getting a chance to audition them. I know, right? Any thoughts about power? Hopefully you do a review of a shit amp soon. Vidar is attractive. Do we have the Vidar?
I have no idea.
To be honest with you, their names, I can't keep them all straight.
I don't think so.
I don't think we have the Vidar. We have the 20 water Class A, and I'll say this. I have not made up my mind, good or bad, but that is not an amp that I would pair with any type of speaker that does not have a sensitivity higher than 93, 95, or greater. If that thing produces 20 watts, I'm 12 feet tall. I'm just going to say that. It can sound good. I just doubt the specs. Let's see here. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh no, jumped on me. Love the channel. Thank you. Well, thank you, Ryan. We appreciate that very much. We got a new entry-level member. Love it. Appreciate that. Hoping to buy a Bang & Olufsen surround system with the BioLab 28s at the front, the new theater, and some older 17s at the back. I love the 28s, but should I be spending my money in a smarter way? I mean, you are talking. I mean, okay, you appear to live overseas, where Bang & Olufsen would appear to be at a vastly different price point than what it is for me, because I think the 28s over here are 17, 18 grand, depending on the finish. And so I was like, hey, you know, it's a little cost prohibitive. But then some of our European friends were like, I can get those all day for about 8 grand. And I'm like, well, isn't that nice to be you? It's one of the few times, I guess. And then anyone that lives in Australia is like, everything's $1 billion.
Every single time. It's like, we know.
Yeah, we're sorry about that. Your country's beautiful. So could you spend your money in a smarter way? I mean,
you could always spend your money in a smarter way.
Obviously. I mean, look, anytime you're talking about a loudspeaker, you're talking about an emotional an emotional purchase. I don't want to call it an investment, because none of this stuff is worth anything. Just FYI, it's not. And if you don't believe me, I roll this tape back 4 minutes when I said Krell Evolution 402E, $18,000 retail. Not even 10 years later, you can get it for the price of an Emotiva. None of this is worth anything. So could you be smarter about it? Sure. But if it's something that means something to you, like an Eames chair means something to me, then no, there's not a smarter way to go. Could you get similar sonic performance from a quote lesser B&W speaker? Now that's the question. You know, you could probably just as easily do 17s, all the fronts, and then the theater in the center. The theater may be the overkill, and you do 17s front and back, and do get a older what is it, the 4000 from back in the 90s, early 2000s as a center, or get 2 of them as a center. And not saying you're gonna have the exact same performance, but you're probably gonna have similar. You know, especially with the 17s using the hub, which gives you the app support, which gives you some of the tunability that is built into the 28s. You kind of see where I'm going with this. So it really does depend, or is up to what's going to speak to you, because we are talking about luxury purchases here. And at that point, it's all about what makes you happy. Okay, I saw that I talked a little bit, got long-winded. What is this? Pick me. Andrew, can you connect 2 different amps to speakers like the KEF R3 that have 2 pairs of binding posts on the back for bi-amping? I want to switch between 2 amps. Could you connect 2 amps to a speaker that has 2 sets of binding posts? Yes, that's bi-amping. Can you switch on the fly between using those 2 amps? No, you can't do that. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Shot in the dark. I want to make my dad's Christmas. His health isn't great. Oh. HWR.
Probably however.
However, his favorite system of all time was a 70s Sansui receiver and speaker. What to look for, avoid, where to buy. Okay. Jack, I want you to be successful with this. So here's what I'm going to do. You need to reach out. You need to reach out to Just Audio. I know that they dabble in Sansui. If they are not able to help you, you need to go over to Randy's channel over at Cheap Audio Man, and you need to send him a message, or he recently did a video about a vintage Yamaha piece. But in that video, he's talking to a man that owns a vintage shop. Reach out to him. And then if those 2 don't bear fruit, the third person I want you to go look at hopefully this doesn't screw up everything.
What do you want me to Google?
It's not Google. The name of his shop is hard for me to pronounce. He's in Texas. He's on Instagram. Jack, if you're okay, start with Just Audio, go to Cheap Audio Man. I don't remember the name of his vintage guy. Check him out. Jack, if you follow me on Instagram, DM me, say, hey, I'm Jack. I was the one looking for Sansui. I'll get you the name of the other guy. One of those 3 people should be able to help you out. Okay. Luke, for both Andrew and Kristi, what are your initial thoughts on the per listen? Personally, I thought they were the best new thing in a while. By the way, you two are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you wanting me to go first?
Sure.
I think they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
I also think they're very, very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all I'm going to say.
I too am going to say they are impressing me. And they are cost prohibitive, but they are very impressive. I have some thoughts about them though, given their price point. But sonically, they're hard to fault. They're hard to fault.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
If you have 10 grand in your pocket.
Yeah, if you just have 10G burning a hole in your pocket for bookies. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Polk's Signature Elite series? I'm thinking of buying a pair of ES55 or XT70, but don't know if the ES is worth paying 20% more. I don't know if it's worth paying 20% more, but if I'm not mistaken, the Signature Elite line is the one that's currently like 20% off or 30% off if you shop online. So at that point, it might really be worth it. I know finish wise or looks wise, it does look nicer than the XT line, but is it a sonic upgrade? Unfortunately, I can't answer that for you. I'm sorry. Oh, Jerry. Any future plans of reviewing Aperion Verus 3 speakers? You should probably... I've done a lot of Aperion reviews, actually, just not on this channel, but back in my print days. And because Aperion doesn't have a lot of new product that has come out over the years, I think if you Google Aperion Verus and my name, you'll find my review. Let's see here. Jack, I do. I want you to be successful in this. So if those 2 guys can't help you out, please DM me on Instagram and I'll do what I can. Let's see. Okay, I saw another one here. Let's see. Okay. Andrew, what do you think about Focal Cora on a great deal currently? Are they good for home theater? I saw your old review, but currently, you bought the Cinema 50? Oh, dude. Okay, first of all, and I'm not trying to pick on you. This is a comment for the class. If a speaker was good last year or the year before or 10 years ago and everything is still functioning, it's in good shape, a speaker doesn't suddenly become bad. A good speaker is a good speaker. So if you splurge today and you buy, say, per listens at 10 grand, you know, oh my God, that's a lot of money. But that speaker's probably going to last you for the rest of your life if you take care of it. And it's good today, it's going to be good tomorrow. And so Focal Cora, I know you guys don't hear me talking about them a lot on the channel lately. Partially, A, we've already reviewed them. B, that was last year or the year before. You have to understand, a channel like ours, part of our business model is to bring you the latest and greatest, to always be showing you what's coming out. And I know for some of you that can create a sense of paralysis or confusion, because you may look at it and go, oh, he didn't mention Focal Cora, so that means the Focal Coras suck. No, it doesn't. It absolutely does not. It just means that I have to compare apples to apples. And for us, apples to apples is what is currently available in the immediate moment, because we're always having to create content. There's so much stuff that we have to get through. But Focal Cora has never stopped being good. And I know that they're deeply discounted right now. And so if that's a speaker you've had your eye on, absolutely would not hesitate in recommending them still. Let's see. Any thoughts on beryllium drivers? I have a lot of thoughts on beryllium drivers. I actually think beryllium drivers are one of the most hyped tweeter materials ever. I think they can be fantastic. I love the beryllium drivers in the Paradigm Signature S8s. I think they were. I loved them in the Rebels, but I've also heard beryllium drivers, for example, in Tecton Lores that I'm like, rip it out. So it really does depend on how it's all implemented. I love this. Benedict, best amp for Watt Puppy 5.1s is Crown Blasphemy. No. And I would encourage you to give it a shot, because even if you don't like it, I still think it's going to surprise you. And when you look at the receipt and you realize, even if you buy 2 crowns and run them in mono, which is what I would recommend, you're only out like $600 to $800 depending on the model you buy. You're going to be like, well, I can't beat that with a stick. The only thing that people need to be aware of when it comes to the Crown XLS DriveCore 2 series is it has a noise floor. Because in the professional world, when this is powering a line array and people are half a football stadium away, the noise floor of that amplifier is not going to be an issue. The way you get around the noise floor of a Crown amp is the 2 gain dials on the front, all the way to the right till the point where they don't move anymore. The amp is at like full tilt. Just grab one amp, go to the left speaker, kind of sit really close to your left or right speaker, closer than your listening position, and you're going to hear some tweeter hiss. Just dial it back. It usually takes about 3 clicks, and then the tweeter hiss will be about the same as any other amplifier, right? Or you won't hear it. Then match the other channel to that. Sit down, enjoy yourself, because they have so much power to spare. For some of you that may be sitting in the comments or watch this later, and leave me a comment down below. Yeah, but you're turning down the power. It doesn't matter. They have so much power that, tilting them back a little bit or turning them down a little bit isn't going to matter. I think you should try it. I would. I had Crown XLS DriveCores. I had 4 of them. I had a mono biamping 800 diamond D2s back in the day, and I still don't think I've heard the B&Ws powered better. And as far as if you're worried about judgment from audiophiles, F them. To follow up on the Lumina question, what sort of amp integrated or AVR power amp would you recommend for it? Luminas were about $3,000. Lumina 5s. The towers, they were about $3,000.
Just keep talking, I will tell you.
I think those were about $300 or $3,500 a pair. I honestly, dude, I would not sleep on the Roxen Atessa. Holy crap. That is a great little
the Lumina 5s.
Lumina 5s
are $3,000.
$3,000.
But they are not in
the Roxen, I think he already has them.
I'm sorry, they are in stock.
Yeah. The Roxen Atessa has proven to be really, really good. We have an amplifier review coming Sunday. You might want to check that out, especially knowing that the Luminas can lean a little bit more into that treble forwardness side. So watch on Sunday. I don't want to spoil it. I know we use the 40N. I know we use the Technics SUG 700 Mark II. The SUG 700 Mark II sounded great with those. Yeah. Oh, we also used the Rotel 1592 Mark II. Just absolutely slayed with those. But without using the tone controls, I would understand if someone paired the 1592 Mark II with the Lumina 5s and said, oh, that's too much of a good thing. So, but you can always use the tone control, take it back a notch or two. But yeah, those would be some of the things I look at. Some of the amps I would consider.
David B. Andrew does not color his hair.
What?
Yeah.
What hair color do you use?
He doesn't use any.
I don't.
He's blessed with.
Because I mean, there's gray in there, man.
Natural.
There's gray in here. I mean, I'm just happy.
That you still have
I'm
some?
just happy at 40 plus years old. I have some. Man. Man.
People think they're funny.
Have you guys heard Coda's Class A AB amps? They get so little coverage. You agree that Class A generally sits in the middle between tubes and Class AB warmth wise. I have not heard those. I'm sorry. I've heard of them, but I have not heard them. Do you agree that Class A generally sits? It can. I typically like it until I get my electric bill, or I can't listen to it in the summer, but kind of like tubes, it starts to really heat the room up. But now that it's getting colder, here comes my canner amp. Really excited. Gonna listen to that a lot more. I mean, it's all in the implementation.
You're such a dork.
I've heard plenty of Class A amps that sound like absolute garbage, but I've heard some that are great. So, yeah. Let's see. It looks like we're coming up on 10 minutes left, guys. 10 minutes. We try and stream for about 2 hours. So let's see what we can do here. Chris, how do you like the OSD wireless subwoofer accessory? I love it. It is a game changer in subwoofer placement flexibility, since I hate cables. I did find that the Arendal subwoofer didn't care for it too much. I also found that the SVS 3000 Micro could at times, depending on the distance, could also perform similarly to the Arendal, and that it created a noise problem. But I will say this, the one sub that seemingly, knock wood, that has not had a problem with that OSD subwoofer kit is our Klipsch SPL 100. Can't shake it, man. That thing just loves it and it rocks. But I don't know if I'll ever go back to a truly wired sub system again. I just love the flexibility and the cleanliness. I stick the OSD thing to the back of the subwoofer. I got some 3M Velcro. I just stick it to it. It's great. David B. Oh man, my plasma TV heat up the room like crazy. Yeah, our 85-inch Sony X95K mini LED, that thing gets warm. I'm not going to say it changes the temperature of the room like my old Panasonic plasmas did, but it's surprising, for all of the efficiency of, LED talk. This thing gets pretty warm, although I've not noticed any real changes in our electric bill, and we use this thing a lot. So yeah. Let's see. What are your thoughts on the Bose 600 soundbar? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Let's see. Have you tried isoacoustic products? Have you watched our videos? Because I've been throwing those isoacoustic products underneath the speakers and our subwoofers in almost every video. I will say this, guys. I get a chuckle. Nothing against isoacoustic. First of all, their product is top-notch, the way it's made. The build quality of it is fantastic. The unboxing ownership experience of it, excuse me, also top-notch. And it better be, because they are charging you hundreds of dollars for feet. Their marketing reminds me a lot of AudioQuest in the sense that, it's like, oh, I changed the feet, or I changed a cable and I saw Jesus, No. I have yet to even measure a speaker with and without their feet in our room throw a dramatically different response. That said, I still swear by using them because they are hands down the best feet that I have ever used for hard floor surfaces, concrete or wood. I love them for that reason alone, and will not put them on a floor, or will not use or listen to a floor standing speaker without them if I can help it, because they have a little suctiony kind of vibe to the feet, so they become incredibly stable. They make tall speakers even more difficult to tip over without needing huge outrigger feet, which I love. And they don't scar, mark, dent, or otherwise mess with your floors. And that to me is worth the cost of admission. I'm not going to make any sonic claims because to this point, haven't really heard them. but I still love the product and would encourage you to look into it. Not answered my question above. C2, I didn't see it, sir. I'm gonna look for it, but I don't want to.
I'm gonna look for it.
Okay, Kristi's gonna look for it.
Listen, guys. If we miss your question, first of all, I apologize. If we miss your super chat question, after the chat is over, or sorry, after the stream is over, I always go back through and make sure that I've answered every super chat. If for some reason we miss your chat during the live stream, I will post your question and the answer in the comments within the next 24 to 48 hours. We're human, and sometimes we miss it. We don't mean to.
It's never
all right, who am I looking for again? What was it? What was the name?
CTU2.
Okay, 009.
Yeah.
Okay.
Filbert, I don't know anything about those speakers. I am so sorry. I would love to share my thoughts, but I have none. Sorry. Is it possible? Please advise on a new cartridge for my pink triangle. Should I go with moving magnet or moving coil? Like, for example, the Ortofon 2 in black or Audio Technica preamps musical fidelity. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to steer you towards the 2M black as I don't have any familiarity with that particular Audio Technica. So I'm just going to say I know I love my 2M black. So give it a shot.
Okay, I have CTU's.
What's his question?
It is, can we expect that TCL 98-inch TV? Would you prefer that over a projector in a living room home theater setup?
You can expect the TCL 98-inch TV to be on this channel sooner than later, provided two very key things. Number one, the first one we had sadly was damaged in shipping. And that is why it has not been on the channel yet. That's not TCL's fault. That's just, it happens.
It's a 100-inch television.
It's a 100-inch television.
It's a behemoth.
It has to come via a trucking company. And frankly, in my humble opinion, trucking companies never send enough people to deliver whatever it is they're actually delivering. And so somewhere along the way, our first sample was literally cracked in half. We do have a new sample. It being a 100-inch TV and me being the only person in this house that is capable of doing an installation of that magnitude, I need help. And unfortunately, the people that we rely on to help us with big installs like this that are local, they're very booked. Now they're going to try and squeeze me in hopefully next week, in which case it's all hands on deck. And when we open the box, we hope it's not cracked in half. The box is crated. It looks to be in immaculate condition. So I hope to have that review for you very, very soon. Just understand 100-inch TV logistics become a very real thing. Sorry, we missed your question. I do apologize.
I know we missed another one from Stephen Boxey. It said Marantz NR1711, clipped 600 M2s with up-firing speakers, Yamo sub. I've messaged him back to say I don't understand what your question actually is.
Mm-hmm. I think you could do it.
So
can we look for?
I don't really know.
Can we look for MJ? MJ says we missed his question.
Yeah, I will do my best.
Okay.
Like I just said, if we miss you, I'm sorry, and we will circle back for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. There was another question here though that I saw. Dan Hunt, what would be your next choice to upgrade from a Polk R700? To be perfectly honest, Dan, if I was really going to go lights out and I wanted something that was demonstrably better, I think you got to be willing to spend a lot of money. I really do. I mean, it's taken something along the lines of, say, an 805D4 or a Perlisten S4B to show me something that is audibly and immediately apparently different. Whether or not it's better is still going to be up to you, but giving me something truly appreciably different you're gonna have to spend a lot, or a lot by my standards. Let's see here. There was another one here. MJ, yes, we're looking for it.
I haven't found it yet.
Okay.
FYI.
Well, hey, it's getting a little bit late. So before we sign off, I do want to say one thing, because it is important. Oh God, the dog heard me. The dog heard me say it was getting late. So anyway, sorry about that. I do want to say one thing though. I want to thank today's sponsor, Arylic. Again, they're having their Black Friday sale. Links for everything will be down in the description. It's a great opportunity to save like 20 to 30% off. And so, yeah, if you guys are in the market for a really great streamer that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, that will work in a whole home audio setting, definitely check them out using the links below. And thank you again to Arylic for, sponsoring our live stream. And I think I'm going to answer one more question. Let's see. I'm going to put isoacoustics on my washing machine. No, we have links for washing machine pucks. Do that. They're made for that. They also work great for subwoofers, by the way. Just not as pretty as the isoacoustics. All right. Last one. Here we go. Oh, got a flashing on the screen. My apologies. Last question. Do used amps age well? I saw a used Rotel 1095 for $2,000. Uncertain if this or a Yamaha PX3 or Crown XLS are the best choice. I want more bass. You want more bass from your 8000 Fs, and I don't mind 2 amps. If you want more bass from your 8000 Fs, my first recommendation would be twofold. Push them closer to the wall. Don't change your amps yet. Back them up closer to your wall. And if your current system has tone controls, give the bass just a little oomph. If that doesn't happen, I think that you're going to find switching to something like a Rotel or a Crown, especially a Crown running in mono, although the noise floor issue with Klipsch and that horn is going to be kind of interesting. Sorry, our dog is getting antsy. I think you're going to find that you're not going to get more bass. Like, it's not going to be like, whoa, boomy or anything. It's actually going to be more controlled, in which case it'll be tighter, more focused, where you may actually feel that it's less bass because maybe you're responding to that rear facing port loading your room or not loading your room, which is why play with placement first before moving on and doing any sort of amplifier upgrades. But to the first part of your question, do used amps age well? Again, like with anything, properly taken care of, absolutely. Absolutely, they can be very, very good. So, okay, guys, that is going to do it for us today. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, I do. These are a lot of fun. I really do enjoy them. But my dog is literally licking my foot, and I have to take her outside. So on that note, guys, thank you so much. We will see you next month for our third Thursday live stream, happy hour, whatever we're calling it. We suck at this. But
we do not. We're good.
We're good. We're getting better. Anyway, guys, remember, the only person who has to like the sound of your system is you. Happy listening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your day, your evening, and weekend. And we will see you guys Sunday with a brand new review. You're not going to want to miss it because Kristi and I don't agree on anything.
Thank you so much for coming out and joining us today. We really do appreciate it. And thanks one more time to Arylic for sponsoring it. Really does help the channel. Yeah. There is a link to their website in the video's description. We would really appreciate it if you click on it and see if they have anything that looks good for you.
That S50 Pro. That S50 Pro is legit.
It's good.
It's a good piece. Good. It's a good piece. We still have ours. We still use it and love it. Yeah. So check it out. And they just have they have new in-ceiling, in-wall speakers that are connected to their. Check them out. We haven't tried them yet. We haven't checked them out yet.
But they're a good company. Guys, anyway,
check them out.
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Anyway, we got to go.
The puppy for me. We will, Nathan. We definitely will. And again, we appreciate our worldwide audience for joining us. It means a lot to us, and we hope you've had fun, and just know that we appreciate you.
Yes. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. See you next time.
Good night.
Bye.